Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife.
And how you doing, how you living, how you feeling, folks? Back for another episode of City Night Lights. Now, of course, I'm your host with the most. My name's Zach, and as always, glad to be back talking to you guys. It's been some interesting baseball the Mets have played post the All-Star break, and we'll get into that in just a second. But really, what I'm gonna do is gonna give you guys kind of the schedule how this episode's gonna go. We're gonna quickly hit the standings, go into the last few series, and then we'll talk a little bit more specifically about some players in terms of their batting, their pitching, and kind of what I think is happening. So with that being said, we'll just get right into it. Now, standings wise, the Mets are now 6 games out of the NL East lead. It's very disappointing, especially thinking about where they were as of recently. They were so great. They were winning the division, didn't look like they could be touched. And okay, no longer 6, it's now currently 5 games back, but unfortunate nonetheless. I really hope to see the Mets kind of get back into their rhythm and hopefully take the division like we thought they were going to be able to do at the start of the year. They've now currently put themselves kind of in this wild card 2 race. They're currently the wild card 3. Because right now the Cubs have 68 wins and the Dodgers have 68 wins. And, the Reds are nipping at our heels. They're, I believe, a full game back. They've played 2 more games than us, and they're both losses. But, I mean, even the Cardinals are sitting at 61 and 61. So there's definitely some competition in the National League. And the Mets have to be worried. I know they have that last wild card spot right now, but it's really important that they don't just play for this wild card spot. They go out there and they really play the Mets baseball that we saw them play early in April and a little bit into May. I want to see the Mets just get back on track. Now, in terms of talking about what happened, it's been a little bit of a mess. It was great. We came out of the All-Star break. We swept 2 straight series. We destroyed the Angels and took care of business in San Fran. And then we ran into the Padres and got swept. Then we played the Giants again and lost in a 1-2 series. Then we played the Guards and got swept. The Brewers and got swept. And now we're currently in a series with the Atlanta Braves. Very fun. It's currently 1-1 in the series. I'm actually watching the Mets game right now. It's currently 2-2 in the 6th with, I believe that's Nimmo on second base. So let's hope the Mets can win this series. Hopefully get things back on track. I feel like I've been saying this for weeks now. They haven't been able to get back on track, back to where they were in the beginning of the season, that dominant force that the Mets were. Now, we'll hit some batting here. Of course, it's important to talk about. Oh, let's go, Pete. Score. That's what I'm talking about. 3-2. All right, now in terms of the batting, it's been abysmal post All-Star break. I mean, Lindor has a 169 batting average, and all these stats are from before the Braves series that we're currently watching. But before the Braves series, Lindor had a measly 169 batting average with a 510 OPS, and then Pete and Soto damn near had the same batting line. I mean, they were batting a little bit better than Lindor, pretty much both batting 260. Oh, never mind. Pretty much both batting like shit is really what it is. Nobody's looked good. Our stars haven't been there. I mean, for crying out loud, the only people who've been able to show up are Marte and McNeil. And it's been a little crazy. I mean, Vientos has started to get it moving a little bit, and so has Beatty. And glad to see Alvarez back and actually swinging the bat halfway decently. But these are not the guys that we are relying on to get wins, to really elevate this team. And, if Lindor, Soto, and Pete aren't going, and it's just going to make this season difficult and unbelievably frustrating. Now, with that being said, Pete did just get the RBI and recently broke the Mets' all-time home run record, recently held by Darryl Strawberry. Pete is now the new Mets home run champ. It's really cool to get to see this in my life. I'm not going to lie. I very much enjoy getting to watch team history for us. Pete Alonso is a guy I've been able to watch his entire career. I mean, I have almost every single rookie card of his in existence. I'm like 3 or 4 short. But it's unbelievable. It just feels so good to be like, you know what? That's my guy, and he's our home run leader. He's done so much for this franchise, and it's really just a beautiful thing. I'm glad we got to watch this as a group of fans. We got to experience this, and yeah, that's all on that. Pete Alonso breaking Darryl Strawberry's home run record. But yeah, otherwise, we'll move on from the batting. We'll move right down to pitching. Currently, the only good starting pitcher we have is David Peterson, and he had an unfortunate outing last night against the Braves after we went up, I believe it was 5-0 again. Kind of blew that. But he's been pretty decent. Before the Braves series, he had a 2.63 ERA through 24 innings with 19 Ks. And, otherwise, the rest of the starters have been an absolute nightmare. I mean, it's just been a mess. Clay Holmes has the best ERA on the team right now, and he's currently got a 4.2 since the All-Star break. And that is horrendous. I mean, it's been so bad, they just had to move Montas back to the pen and bring up Nolan McLean because they don't know what to do with the starting pitching. And on top of that, I mean, our bullpen's been decent. I want to see, hopefully, Helsley can get on some sort of track. I don't know what's been happening there, but Ryan Stanek's also been blown to smithereens since the All-Star break. So I would like to see him also potentially get back on track. But really, the starting pitching, I don't know what has to happen here. I don't know what magic or deal with the devil Jeremy Hefner needs to make, but something has to happen here because this is the most abysmal pitching performance I've ever watched the Mets have in my entire life, and it's miserable. It's terrible to watch. I mean, constantly you're sitting there up 5-0, and you have to second guess the Mets. They're over a grand slam away from tying the game, and you have to worry about the Mets blowing the game. It is unbelievable. What this reminds me of is kind of the Will Pont Mets era, where we saw the Mets have these weird lulls where all of a sudden, they'll start the season off hot, then they'll play like shit the rest of the year, and then they'll somehow at the very end, they'll just maybe turn it on in time and come close or just make the playoffs. And that's really what this team feels like. It feels like it's a team that might possibly turn it on at the end and maybe just make the last wild card spot just because, they were able to hang around. Like, this team is infuriating to me. It really is, especially with the amount of talent and ability this team has, and really the places this talent should be able to take us versus what's happening right now is just unbelievably disappointing. But I do have faith in the Mets. I really, I'm going to root for them no matter what. We're going to ride with this season and really see what happens. And yeah, I just, you got to hope, man. You just got to be a Mets fan and you got to hope. Now, with that being said, you got to believe. My bad, I almost forgot. You got to believe. Now, with that being said, folks, I really do appreciate you guys coming out, listening, spending time with me, It's always nice to get to spend time with you guys. You guys spend time with me. It's kind of funny. I almost mixed up my words there. But I really appreciate you guys coming out, listening, taking your time out of your day. Come hang out with me for a little bit. Now, with that being said, everybody take it easy and stay idiotic.